Thank you for joining JTV News. I'm Peter Gay Coombs. Here are the headlines. Falling rocks, disintegrating roadways. Bad weather wreaks havoc in Virgin Gorda. 5 murders in 5 months. Side revenue. BVI Airway leases jet while it awaits Miami flights all clear.
The subsidy that we give Minister of Finance allowed a company to get on its feet, Madam Speaker, although it had owed the government money. I'm asking you as a follow-up based on what I'm reading with them leasing the airline to Haiti to do services, Madam Speaker. These revenues that they are experiencing, that they're making profits because we brought them in business, we will not get anything from them other than the $7 million?
Digicel on number portability.
It works for individual consumers who want to move from one operator to another. But in all our experiences so far, we have not seen viability commercially. It has always been net.
Biker boys and girls, time to change your risk-taking ways.
I think we all need to just unite and try to save our kids.
Many of us wouldn't be here without them or their love, the cornerstones of our lives. Mommies take over the big story as we celebrate Mother's Day. 12 move on to Gen Y finals. And in Caribbean news, voted out. Bahamas ruling party gets the electoral boot. And Bermuda's Supreme Court delivers watershed judgment effectively legalizing same-sex marriages. In our Medical Minute segment, how much screen time is enough for your kids?
Increasing hours of screen time per day is associated with increased BMIs and childhood obesity.
Dr. Geronimo Jones is next with that report in our Medical Minute segment. All these and much more up next.
This is us. This is how we work. This is how we play. This is how we live. This is us. This is how we flow.
Welcome back to JTV News. Inclement weather conditions experienced over 2 days, May 10 and 11, had some parts of the territory on pause, resulting from flooding, erosion, and fallen boulders and rocks. This was especially the case on the sister island of Virgin Gorda. Further details in this report from Kathy Richards.
Imagine driving and the road starts to collapse beside you. That was the case of this driver who captured this amateur video. Appalled by the state of the North Sound Highway, this driver decided to roll his camera and did not realize the danger of what was unfolding along the route until reviewing the video hours later. Now, this is more than a sound enough reason for the territory to be put on alert.
Over the past few days, the territory has been experiencing inclement weather due to the presence of a trough in the area. Now, as a result of this, we had significant rainfall. We experienced thunderstorms and we had, lightning as well, which was generated as a result of the trough. The rain itself would have caused a rock fall in some areas. And of course, due to our hilly terrain, we would have seen rocks falling onto the roadways. And in some areas, this might have been around blind corners. So persons need to really be cautious when driving on the roads. This is not only for persons on the mainland of Tortola, but also on our sister islands. Certainly, we have had reports, particularly in Virgin Gorda, of rockfall on the roadways, particularly between North Sound and the Valley. And along with the rockfalls, we might also observe some additional effects from the rain, which would have impacted the roadways itself in terms of causing impressions and some level of erosion in the road. So we really want to strongly advise motorists to exercise extreme caution when driving. Observe the speed limit, be mindful of other drivers, look out for these rocks that may have fallen.
Heavy rains, thunderstorms, and lightning were the order of the day, especially on May 10 and 11, as it caused the flooding, which forced the closure of some businesses, fallen boulders posing serious threats to lives and limbs, and erosion compromising the integrity of roadways, all in Virgin Gorda, at the Valley and the North Sound. According to the Department of Disaster Management, persons need to be extremely cautious at this time as the inclement weather condition comes as the hurricane season approaches.
We are entering the hurricane season, and so we can expect to see more of these types of systems developing. Right? So I want to really use this opportunity to encourage persons to fine-tune their hurricane preparedness plans for this year. We can expect, as I said, to see more of these types of systems developing. So we need to be prepared, be ready this year.
The advice of DDM is not only for Virgin Gorda community, but the entire British Virgin Islands. The poor weather conditions are likely to continue into the hurricane season, which starts in a few weeks. For JTV News, I'm Kathy Richards.
Who owns the 2 aircraft which have been acquired by BVI Airways to fly between Beef Island and Miami? Responding to questions posed in the House of Assembly by Leader of the Opposition Andrew Foy on May 11, Premier and Finance Minister Dr. D. Orlando Smith says Colchester Aviation, which is a principal of BVI Airways, owns the 2 aircraft through another wholly owned subsidiary, Raptor Aviation, which leases the 2 Aviaro RJ100 jets.
BVI Airways is a registered owner of the aircraft in the BVI, according to the BVI registry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I understand now. So BVI Airways, let me make sure I'm clear, is the registered owner for the aircrafts in the BVI. But outside the BVI, they're not the registered owner of the aircrafts. That's what you're saying?
What I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, is that they do 2 different concepts. The registered owner is a person who controls the property. That's how it goes, Mr. A.G. And the other, the outside owner, is the person who has the right to the property. So it's 2 different ownerships.
True, Chairman, Speaker. So technically, they don't own the airline. They just lease them and go along as ownership.
Well, the term is called a registered owner.
The Premier and Finance Minister also confirms that BVI Airways is earning revenue in the interim by leasing at least one of its jets to an airline in Haiti, Sunrise Airways.
Let me understand this as clearly as I could, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, is the Premier saying that all money was used to bring a business that went out of business, owing us, back into business, and now is using our monies to make money, and we still have to pay them and waive fees for them to operate for us?
What I'm saying, Madam Speaker, that in the agreement which we do have, that the investment we made was what you call a subsidy. As in most countries which provide subsidies are basically money that is given to subsidize the run of the aircraft. However, Madam Speaker, the agreement that we also have also indicates that once the airline is up and running, that the subsidy that we were given will be returned once they are running successfully to the full to the government of the BVI.
Now, regarding that addendum, which came to light because of questioning by the opposition leader during the last sitting of the House, Dr. Smith says the change to the initial agreement signed with BVI Airways in 2015 was made on June 7, 2016, and explained why it was necessary.
Due to there being multiple signing parties, the document was signed by the parties at different times during the month of June 2016. Madam Speaker, in summary, the addendum agreement acknowledges that BVI government were not able to establish a line of credit, indicate that the parties agreed to establish an escrow agreement, outline the conditions under which escrow is established, and confirm the establishment of the escrow satisfies the requirements. Madam Speaker, the signatories to the amendment are the same as those of the original agreement. And the signatories, Madam Speaker, are Bruce Bradley, Jerry Willoughby, Scott Weissman, and myself as representative of the government of the Virgin Islands.
When pressed on why the initial contract to release the $7 million over 3 years to BVI Airways was amended to allow disbursement in less than 1 year, this was the Premier's explanation.
Conditions for the release of funds to BVI Airways were primarily based on timelines that were adjusted by mutual agreement as conditions on the ground changed. These were related to the extended anticipated time for getting approvals from the regulator and various challenges faced in the acquisition of the aircraft required to provide the service. Madam Speaker, the establishment of escrow account was set up to allow for the arrangement for the transfer of the funds invested in BVI Airways by the government of the Virgin Islands. Madam Speaker, BVI Airways was not required to pay any money into the escrow account, as the establishment of the escrow was necessitated because the line of credit as required in the original agreement was not available.
Now, other information which came to light during the Q&A session. According to the Premier, the breakdown of how the $7 million subsidy in BVI Airways was spent, as well as the total assets consisting of private equity, cannot be disclosed as they are commercially sensitive material which may be prejudicial to the airline's ongoing deliberations. Dr. Smith also conceded that 10% of the airline's shares must be offered to the public. But regarding the question of residency status of the shareholders of BVI Airways, the Premier disclosed that he neglected to include that query in the research for his responses. Meanwhile, a business case study on the viability of the BVI Airways venture was done by Oregon-based company Sixel, which included an assessment of the cost of operations and fare levels, among other factors, at a cost of $22,000, an expense shared by BVI Airways and the government. However, Premier Smith states that a public disclosure of the document would be prejudicial. BVI Airways last month received certification from the U.S. Department of Transportation and now awaits the go-ahead from the Federal Aviation Authority and the Transportation Security Administration. The number of murders so far in the BVI for 2017 continues to astound residents, as in only 5 months, 5 persons have met an untimely demise. Kathy Richards reports.
I'm mindful that there are many families who are justifiably distraught and angry, and words alone will not bring change.
Truly understanding and being mindful that along with words, actions are necessary to fight crimes of all levels in the British Virgin Islands. As the one at the helm of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, Commissioner of Police Michael Matthews says that his team is working tirelessly and passionately to bring perpetrators to justice for murders that have rocked the territory.
What I can say about these tragic events that have unfolded in the territory is that my detectives are passionately pursuing all available leads into the recent murders, and I personally receive briefs and process reports on a daily basis from them, and in turn we keep family members updated with as much information as possible.
Mr. Matthews made this statement following the most recent murder which occurred at the eastern end of Tortola. On May 6, 22-year-old Sean Richards was shot in the Longlow community. 2 days later, May 8, he succumbed to those injuries while a patient at the People's Hospital.
Justice is our only pursuit, and we will not give up. I will not give up, no matter how long this takes. You know, murder inquiries by their very nature can be long and painstaking. However, when we do find the perpetrators of these murders, or we have gained reportable inroads into these investigations, then the families will be the first to know, and of course the public will be informed.
Matthews urges the public to come forward with whatever information they may have that can assist in the investigation of these murders. Sean Richards' death marks the 5th murder in 5 months, compared to 4 murders for the entire of 2016. Also murdered this year were Franklin Foy, Alston Penn, Jefferson Joseph, and Ashburn Dawson. With this JTV News report, I'm Kathy Richards.
Local telephone service providers are standing by to get cracking on the infrastructure to deliver number portability, but it may not be as easy as it sounds. The matter was brought back to the fore by 3rd District Representative Julian Fraser when he made the case during the 2017 budget debate for customers who are displeased with their telephone providers to be able to switch networks without having to lose the number they have been associated with, in some cases for years. CEO of the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, TRC, Guy Malone, told JTV News that the issue of number portability is on the TRC's 2016-2017 work plan and is to be discussed with local telecoms providers CCT Flow and Digicel. General Manager of Digicel BVI, Kevin Gordon, says the telecoms giant is prepared to answer the call when requested by the TRC.
We have no issues with number portability. We have no issues with the idea behind number portability. It's good for the customers. We support the process. The challenges, and I'll be honest, it has never been commercially viable. It's an expensive venture, and we have implemented that in Jamaica and all in some other markets as well, and it has been done. It works for individual consumers who want to move from one operator to another, but in all our experiences so far, we have not seen viability commercially. It has always been net. So it has been flat across the board, not just for digital, but for all operators.
In explaining the challenges associated with the implementation of the infrastructure for number portability, the Digicel General Manager says cooperation from competitors isn't one of them.
It's an expensive infrastructure investment. You're talking about putting equipment that translates numbers across all operators, and every operator gets a certain number range. That number range is built into your billing system. You understand that when you're making calls between your platforms, the first 3 digits identifies the operator. Then you have to put systems in place to manage the process. When a customer wants to move from one operator to another, this number that starts with 4 no longer is CCT, it's now a digital number. So when you're transferring the call, don't go on that network, move it to the other network. And so all these systems, they have to communicate and they have to talk, and it costs a pretty penny to put those in, and all operators would have to bear that responsibility. But what we have seen in the past is when we have done so, the movement between the different operators doesn't translate into a commercially viable opportunity to recover the investment that you would have made to put the systems in. There's a lot of hype and a lot of talk about the number portability for a lot of customers, and I guess in the United States it's the main staple. It happens there on a regular basis. What we have found in a lot of the other markets that we have implemented this solution, that our customers are customers. They are comfortable where they are, they stay where they are. They'll talk about the number portability becoming an issue, but when you look at the numbers and the amount of persons migrating from one operator to another, it's not a lot.
Mr. Gordon states that while number portability became a reality in Jamaica after about a year and a half, it would be difficult to place a timeline on its progress in the BVI.
It's not something that Digicel controls. We're talking about integrating with other systems and other operator systems. We're talking about interconnectivity that, I'd have to be playing around with systems that I don't have control over. I'd have to be interconnecting with my competitors' network and ensuring that the numbers that are ported effectively. And the system that we're talking about takes a while to build. We have not started any of those discussions. We haven't put a project plan together, so it'd be difficult for me to give you a timeline on when, and if it's going to be implemented, when it will be implemented.
Number portability already exists in the Cayman Islands, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and the French West Indies. In 2014, biking enthusiasts of the British Virgin Islands, led by Shane Winter, held a forum where they discussed issues surrounding biking and biker safety. This had stemmed from the rise in motorcycle accidents and calls for restrictions on importation of motorcycles above an engine capacity of 125 cc. The group wanted to get the authorities to listen to their concerns, and they did, as 3rd District Representative Julian Fraser, Minister for Communications and Works Mark Vanterpool, and a senior member of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, Chief Inspector Kenrick Headley, attended and pledged their support to the campaign. More details from Kathy Richards.
Mr. Shane Winter is on the move again, as since 2014, things seems not to have changed much, and the steam is already picking up via social media.
Since then and now, I'm pretty sure we could count about 3 or 4 deaths, and all under 30 years old. Young men in the BVI losing their lives for just a simple safety precaution. A helmet. And if you weigh your life up against a piece of apparatus that costs the same amount of money that you spend hanging out on the block or at the nightclubs or whatever, it don't make no sense at all.
This issue is very dear to Mr. Winter because he loves bikes. Being an internationally recognized biker, has witnessed many deaths and near deaths, and has seen the benefits of protective gears. But even more, he lives with the pain of near-death experiences of a son.
I had a son that was in a really bad scooter accident a few years ago, and doctors had pronounced him basically dead. I was already starting to make funeral arrangements. Anyway, he ended up in Jamaica, and he miraculously made a comeback, and he's here today with us now. And the other day he came to me, the same son, which is now a few years after, and told me, I had a scooter. He said, Dad, I need a scooter to get to walk or whatever. And I said, well, son, you know what? You could have this scooter with conditions, of course. This is my helmet that I kept for 15 years. It's a $1,000 helmet, and I would like you to have it. But there's going to be, stipulations with this deal that we're making. A few days ago, he got in a major accident on the same scooter, the same kid. And he kind of woke up in the back seat of this lady's car that picked him up off the road. So right away that told me, if he wasn't wearing his helmet, and if he was wearing his helmet and he was unconscious, that means I would have been preparing for a funeral right now.
Now, while plans for a much bigger forum to address concerns surrounding bikes and bikers are in its infancy stages, Winter calls on the community to band together.
I think we all need to just unite and try to save our kids.
This year has recorded quite a number of motorcycle accidents, with 1 death. For JTV News, Kathy Richards.
Still to come on JTV News, many of us wouldn't be here without them or their love, the cornerstones of our lives, the persons we dare not to disappoint or defy. Mommies take over the big story as we celebrate Mother's Day. But first, other news making headlines in the Caribbean.
Here in the Virgin Islands, we are blessed to live and work in paradise. Paradise just doesn't mean our tranquil blue waters and green hills. National Bank of the Virgin Islands defines paradise as any place or condition that fulfills your aspirations.
To me, paradise means knowing that I will have a financing partner when I'm ready to open my first business.
I feel confident that I can manage whatever life throws my way because I know my bank will be with me every step of the way.
That's why I choose National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official bank of paradise.
My future's looking so bright, 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 bright. With the official bank of paradise, paradise.
National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official bank of paradise.
Bahamians voted for change in Wednesday's general elections, giving a landslide victory to Dr. Hubert Minnis and his Free National Movement FNM over outgoing Prime Minister Perry Christie and his Progressive Liberal Party PLP. Dr. Minnis, who was sworn in on Thursday, said it was a long-fought battle, but victory was not his. Instead, it was the people's time, asserting that he was their servant. Meanwhile, Christie, who represented his constituency of Centerville for 40 years, now has an unenviable record as the first Bahamian Prime Minister to lose his seat in an election. In his concession speech, Christie said he understands, as perhaps few others, the challenges that await Dr. Minnis and wish him only success on behalf of the nation, adding that he has his full support for a smooth transition. The preliminary results show the FNM won 35 to the PLP's 4 seats. An estimated 180,000 persons were registered to vote. Same-sex marriages are now legal in Bermuda following a ruling by the Supreme Court last Friday in favor of Bermudian Winston Godwin and his Canadian partner Greg DeRoche. The couple brought the civil suit against the government, citing discrimination after the Registrar General refused to publish their marriage notices. Bermudians overwhelmingly rejected same-sex marriages and same-sex civil unions in a referendum 11 months ago. The government says it will not be appealing the decision. And the Caribbean Court of Justice on Tuesday, May 9, ordered that SM Jalil and Company Limited and Ghana Beverages Inc. be repaid monies collected in unlawful environmental taxes imposed by the Republic of Ghana. The court, however, limited their claim to taxes collected within 5 years of the claim, from 2011 to 2015. The company's claim was filed in the court's original jurisdiction, which deals exclusively with cases concerning the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas RTC, which governs the Caribbean Community CARICOM. The CCC reiterated that the tax did not promote cross-border investment provided for by the treaty, but tended to frustrate freedom of movement of goods, distorted competition, and discriminated against the claimants, who should have been protected as belonging to the community. The government of Ghana was ordered to reimburse the tax it collected between the period March 7, 2011 to August 7, 2015. The judgment carries interest of 4% per annum from the date of delivery. Ghana was also ordered to pay 70% of the legal costs incurred by the companies. Coming up next on JTV News, the big story in celebration of the cornerstone of our society. Mothers on what makes one of the toughest and sometimes most taken for granted jobs oh so special.
This is us. This is how we work. This is how we play. This is how we live. This is how we flow.
If you're looking for extra savings and free benefits
with car insurance
and home insurance,
Colonial has just the cover you need.
There's a free $250 gift voucher for new home insurance customers too, and 10% car insurance discount if you have home insurance.
With a claim service that's quick and friendly.
We call it cover without added costs.
Call for a quote on 494-8450 or Virgin Gorda 495-6403 or visit cgigroup.com.
Colonial, where people come first.
Welcome to TAA. We provide 24-hour roadside assistance on Tortola. We help provide freedom and peace of mind to our members throughout the island. TAA has you covered for all kinds of roadside problems, from minor mechanical first aid to helping you change your tire. TAA provides access to an impressive and ever-expanding range of innovative and reliable services that allow you to drive with confidence. Membership starts at just $99 per year. TAA offers exceptional emergency roadside service and repair. Contact us today to find out how you can become a member. Becoming a member is simple and easy. Apply online today at taaroadside.com. Tortola Automobile Association. Safety on the road.
Welcome back to JTV News. The importance of a mother can never be emphasized enough, much less celebrated in full in just one day. Nonetheless, on the second Sunday in every May, the world pauses to get mothers to take a bow. In this week's Big Story segment, the mothers of JTV Jaffix knock glasses as they reflect on their stories of motherhood.
Well, ladies, it's our time of month. The world has set aside one day for us to reflect, celebrate, be showered with gifts and love and extra love and more love. It's Mother's Day, so let's cheers.
I think it should be a whole year, though.
Oh, you know, right?
One day.
Mother's Day is every day. Mother's Day is every day. Our roles as mothers never ends. From the moment we hit that spot and that little thing start to tingle, I just know it from the very first time it happens.
You lucky.
Motherhood begins right there. Tell me, but what motherhood mean to you?
Motherhood for me means sacrifice. It means unconditional love. It means hard work. It just means love to me, you know, to be responsible for two human beings. I have two kids, you know, it's just a wonderful thing, you know, because whatever I put out, they take in. They're a reflection of me. So, you know, to be a mother is just phenomenal for me.
Yeah. How about you, Andrea?
Okay, motherhood means giving up all the things that I loved and enjoyed. And even though I was only 25, I hope my son isn't counting the years because I haven't told him my age, and he asks me certain questions and try to add on his age. But anyway, but it means having to sacrifice a whole lot for those kids, and boy did I sacrifice a lot. And me, especially being a single mother with my first child, it wasn't easy, and now I'm the only person here from my family, so I didn't have anyone here to help me. I had to walk with that child on my back every single place. I remember one day in Walmart, a stranger walked up to me, and I didn't have him. I left him at work, and I walked over to Walmart, and she was like, "Where's your son?" And I said, "I left him at work." Why? She said, "Because I've never seen you anywhere without that boy." Everywhere. But it just means showing unconditional love and now you have passing. And now I have two. Passing on the values and morals that passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, for me, it's that very word that you use. Motherhood means a sacrifice. I've learned to value that word, sacrifice, because it's no longer about you, but us. In all of it, I've learned too that I have to value me, I have to love me in order that I can love my kids. And so when I do for them, I must remember that I have to be cared for just as equally. So sacrifice has played a key role. I have five, I mother five. I have 5 kids, but I'm mother to 6 kids. And so it's a big role for me. I have a very big heart, you can see. Some people is like lock on the one, you guys lock on your 2, but they're not. My mother has 7 kids, and growing up, I always wanted to have at least one more than my mother.
Wow.
So I wanted the 8, but then the economics stepped in and the reality of life, and you know, it did not happen. But I love kids that much to sacrifice whatever I have to sacrifice to make sure that they have that roof over their head, a comfortable bed to sleep on, a self-esteem that, you know, can carry them through life, and the plate on the table must always have some food to eat.
You know, Kathy, one of my challenges being a mother is taking that break that you mentioned, you know, taking that time for yourself. For some odd reason, I always feel guilty when I take that break. That's a challenge for me. Or even saying, you know, tonight I'm not in the mood to cook. Or, you know, I just always feel super duper guilty, but a mother needs that time, you know, to relax and have that time for herself. So that's one of my challenges as a mother.
I don't get that break. I get 5 minutes in the bathroom, locked in the toilet with my phone, and I play like one game of Words with Friends, and then the little one is knocking on the door, "Mommy, Mommy, where are you?" open the door. So that's my break. In the toilet, sitting, playing on my phone for a second, words with friends. Other than that, they're just all over me.
My mother was the one who brought it to my attention that, Kathy, you're natural with this thing, and probably you might be spoiling the kids by doing it, but I leave the kids to do whatever they have to do to be a kid.
Right.
I leave them out to rumble. I make sure they're not in danger. There's nothing to harm them, but I leave the hallway open up, let them rumble, play. If somebody starts to cry, I look to make sure that it's nothing serious, and I let them cry, let them play, and so I get my time. I'm thrown back in my bedroom, and the 5 of them tumbling out there.
Well, for me, I don't mind being a kid with the kids.
Yes.
You know, my daughter, she's 12, and she's at that stage where, you know, it's the selfies, it's the fashion and all of that good stuff. So I don't mind getting down to that level again and, you know, letting her enjoy that time with mommy. And the Peppa Pig with my 5-year-old and the other bubble guppies and other things that she enjoys. So I enjoy being a kid again with them.
You planned any of your pregnancies?
Oh, hell no. My sister said to me, we have to plan. Maybe next year, like black people plan pregnancies.
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, I had 2 oops babies. Because I had my one, he was a big oops. And then the second one, he was a, oh, God, no, oops. You know what happened with the one?
Well, I definitely planned my birth.
I called my second into being because when I had my first, I did not want to have a mommy's boy. My first is a boy. So I didn't want to have a mommy's boy, although we were like ramping from little, he was 12 pounds, 3 ounces when I got him, yeah. So my little bundle of thunder.
What are you eating?
I don't know, girl, but he came and I did it.
You gave birth naturally?
Naturally. Then don't talk the hell and back I went, you know, for them to take care of that. But I'm all good. Wow. I'm better than before.
I had 2 sections and the last one, my first pregnancy, actually, nobody knew I was pregnant. Same size, same everything. No one in Toronto could tell you that I was pregnant. Not even my boss. Because when I was about 3 months, I told Kelvin. And then 4 months passed, 5 months passed, 6 months passed. I'm not seeing anything going on. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he disappeared. So I didn't even bother. Then at 7 months, I noticed, something's not right. So I went to the doctor at Eureka. And I said, okay, I can't even remember her name. So she said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm 7 months pregnant. And she laughed. And she said, you know what, go on the scale. And the scale said 140 pounds. So she's looking at me, she's looking at the scale. She said, nah, this can't be right. She put me on the other scale, it said 140 pounds. She said, man, something seems to be wrong. And that's when she did the examination and realized that I'm actually pregnant and the baby's in the cervix, but I had no stomach, nothing.
Wow.
And the only person that actually found out suspected without me telling him was Mr. Neil Blyden. We were really good friends. And when I was about 4 months, I saw him walking on the road. He said, Andrea, you're pregnant. And I said, no. And he said, raise up your shirt. So I raised up my shirt because there's nothing there. And then he was like, okay, well, he suspected, I don't know.
That is amazing because my aunt, before I found out I was pregnant, she said to me, Sophie, I'm going to make a quilt for the baby's crib. And I was like, which baby? You know, and like the week after that is when I found out I was pregnant. I have no idea how the older folks
how they get
catch on to that. I really don't know.
I didn't have to wait for anybody to tell me that this is what's going down with me because for some reason from the moment of conception I know. I get that little tingle from the very moment. And I told my husband he would like never, you know, right after that act I can tell you that this has happened. Yes.
Well, I'm always confused because the symptoms are the same as, you know, if you're not. So I always get confused. So I have to wait on that little line, 2 lines on the stick
I didn't have
to confirm.
I didn't have to wait on the line, but at 4 weeks I knew. And I suspect because the morning sickness is just horrible with me and then the constant spitting and so after 4 weeks I just knew. And the last pregnancy, I went to the doctor at Eureka and he said, you have to take the test. I said, I don't need to take the test. I know I'm pregnant. No, you need to take a test. No, I don't have to take a test. I'm saying, you just want my money. I'm telling you I'm pregnant. I know the difference.
Okay. But if we to go on a more serious note, there are a lot of women out there who are looking forward to that moment of becoming a mother, even if they don't give birth naturally to a child they're looking at adopting, or just being a mom to a niece, a nephew, a child in a neighbor. What is that one advice you ladies would want to leave with women like that?
Well, again, you don't have to actually give birth to be someone's mom. You know, once you love that child unconditionally and, you know, you want nothing but the best for them, then you're already on the right path as a mother. You don't have to give birth to the child to be a mother. But again, with what I'm struggling with, you know, once you're a mom, it's okay, you know, to take that break.
Yes.
It's okay if you don't, you know, prepare a 5-star meal every night. It's okay. Sometimes mothers are really hard on themselves, and it makes it difficult to be a good mom when you're being so hard on yourself. So try not to be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, and the thing is, Andrea, sometimes in being very hard on ourselves, we end up in a situation where we pose other strain on our relationship with the father or the man in the home or the others in the home that we may share. So we have to be careful.
Well, fortunately for me, it was just me and my son. But I would advise them that you don't have to be perfect. There's no way in hell you can be the perfect mom.
Yes.
You're not going to get everything right. You're not going to get to all of the football games and the basketball games and all the school meetings, and you're going to forget a couple of things and some school projects you don't want to help with because you're just tired. But they see that you're doing your best, and my son loves me to, well, sons loves me to death, but I it's just whatever.
Yeah.
I tried my best, and I'm sorry.
Is whatever.
I can't do nothing.
I agree. I thank the Father above for the 5 that I have. I'm here. They're all the way in Guyana, all by themselves. They live together. I mean, they're older now. The youngest is 17. The eldest is 23. So they understand the sacrifice their mom is making for them, and I thank God that, you know, I haven't had the kind of challenges I hear some parents go through when they're not around their kids. And so I want to encourage all women, you know, to be strong. Remember that you are a rock for your family. Cherish motherhood. We love you. And before we go, because that 10 minutes didn't do us very much justice. We could have gone on and, you know, but let's cheer to all the women out there. Happy Mother's Day. And here is where we have to say so long and goodbye from this edition of The Big Story on JTV News. Cheers.
A night filled with tough competition among persons representing their respective districts. 9 ambassadors were selected to move on to the final round of the Gen Y Factor singing competition, along with an additional lucky 3. The semifinals of the competition took place on May 6 at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium at the H. Lavity Stout Community College. A total of 18 contenders, 2 from each of the 9 districts, competed for spots in the finals, slated for June 17 at the Sir Rupert Briarcliff Hall in Roodtown. Here's a sneak peek.
If you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door. Oh, 'cause it would take a whole lot of medication.
I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here.
Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. Oh, I feel good.
'Cause from over here I miss the joke. Clear the way for my crash landing. I've done it again. Another number for your notes.
We need a word for the people's pain. So Lord, speak right now, let it fall like rain. And if it makes you cry, cry. All you gotta do is fight. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. Oh, the time has come for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside and turned. Listen, I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home. It's been too hard living, and I'm afraid to die. And life is like a song. Oh yeah. You would love me too, baby. Take my hands and walk along. This love is true, baby. I love you.
As I sing, where I stand, watch you slip through my hand. Oh, I can die here this very day.
Photograph you with this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized. Don't get me wrong, I know there is no tomorrow. To win some more than some, but I won't hesitate no more. That's why I love you, 'cause you are the one who loves my flaws. You did not feel what I felt when he wrapped his loving arms around me, and you don't know the cost of the oil in my alabaster bar.
Please welcome the 2017 finalists for Gen Y Factor 2017. Come forward, guys. Make some noise! We will see you on Saturday, the 17th of June at the Sir Rupert Brightcliffe Hall.
And up next in our Medical Minute, how much screen time do your kids really need?
Increasing hours of screen time per day is associated with increased BMIs and childhood obesity.
Dr. Geronima Jones is next with that report from the Mayo Clinic. Stay with us.
Eureka, located in the British Virgin Islands. Come, discover Eureka Medical Clinic, which provides the most complete medical services in the Virgin Islands. Our state-of-the-art clinic offers the highest quality in specialty care, cardiology, gastroenterology, orthopedics, and spinal surgery. We also offer specialty care in obstetrics and gynecology, as well as dermatology. Eureka Medical Clinic offers diagnostic procedures such as x-rays, mammograms, CAT scans, and all forms of ultrasound exams. Now, for the first time in the BVI, Eureka offers MRI scanning too. With colonoscopy and gastroscopy, we check the intestines and stomach for polyps, colon cancer, and ulcers too. Located at Geneva Place in the heart of Road Town, Eureka Medical Clinic with Medicare Pharmacy and Labs offers you a comprehensive medical facility all under one roof. So for high-quality medical services and convenience, there's no need to look any further. Eureka, you found it.
You win the lottery?
Yep, even better. I'm an investor. I insured my vehicle with Premier Insurance Limited.
What's that?
That insurance company, correction. my insurance company, we are multifaceted. Vehicle breaks down, we provide roadside assistance. We do it all. We make handling of these matters easy for our clientele. From vehicle rental, to parts at below cost, to body work and maintenance. We do it all. Captain, where you going?
I gotta change my insurance. I want to be an investor too.
Quality services and better benefits. Shares available to policyholders after 3 years. 0 deductible for third party. Free roadside assistance with policy. Discounts for government employees. Special rates for drivers under 23 and older. For more information, contact Premier Insurance Limited at 284-495-6800 or stop by our office located at the Sunday Morning Row, Chevelle Center, for a policy that's easy to swallow.
Kids and screen time. In today's society, children are inundated with media. Many kids spend hours in front of devices such as computers, TVs, smartphones, or tablets. But how much screen time is okay for your child? In this Mayo Clinic Minute, pediatrician Dr. Angela Matke explains new screen time recommendations released by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Vivian Williams reports.
For kids, there's no escaping digital media. 50% of teens
will sometimes say that they often feel addicted to their smartphone devices.
Mayo Clinic's Dr. Angela Matke says the American Academy of Pediatrics' new screen time guidelines help families manage media use.
We know that increasing hours of screen time per day is associated with increased BMIs and childhood obesity.
The new guidelines break it down by age. For babies under 18 months, no screen time except for video chatting. Ages 18 to 24 months, if you choose to allow any, opt for high-quality programming only, with a parent there to help explain things. Children ages 2 to 5, 1 hour per day, and kids over 5, including teenagers, 2 hours per day.
We're not saying no screen time.
For teens especially, limited media can be a good thing.
It helps with social engagement, building a network of friends around them that is often supportive.
For the Mayo Clinic News Network, I'm Vivian Williams.
Before we go, a brief look at the main headlines. Department of Disaster Management cautions motorists traveling in Virgin Gorda, particularly North Sound, to drive with care as the inclement weather has dislodged boulders and compromised sections of the roadway. 5 murders in 5 months. Commissioner of Police says the perpetrators will feel the long arm of the law. Digicel says number portability is a costly and unprofitable undertaking, but the company is ready to tackle the task when requested by the TRC. The big story, only a mother's love. Moms share the pains and rewards of motherhood as we wish all our selfless mothers a happy Mother's Day. Which district will claim the win of Gen Y Factor 2017? 12 on to the finals. In regional news, Dr. Hubert Minnis is the new Prime Minister of the Bahamas, as former Prime Minister Perry Christie and his party are not only voted out of office, but also out of his constituency of 40 years. And the Bermudan government says it will not appeal Supreme Court's landmark judgment legalizing same-sex marriages in civil suit brought by a Bahamian man and his Canadian partner. Now, just a reminder that you can find all the news stories featured in this newscast, as well as previous newscasts on our website, jtvlive.net. Additional information and news updates can be found on our Facebook page, facebook.com/JTV55. If you haven't already, please visit our Facebook page to let us know that you like us. Of course, all our news features, stories, press conferences, and JTV's television programs can be found on our JTV News YouTube channel. Subscribe for daily uploads. We welcome your questions and comments and story ideas. Email us at jtvnews@hotmail.com. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Peter Gay Coombs. Thank you for watching.